I know for many of you, you're still in a state of mourning. That's why we have Walking On with Jordan Ham, brought to you by the good people at Rockin' Refuel. We appreciate Rockin' Refuel and their support. All right, get them out of mourning. Is this thing sustainable? Have they turned the corner as a program? I want to do a deep dive with you, just your view of where things are with ASU football.
Yeah, I think that they are on a completely different trajectory. And, throughout the year, we heard that Kenny felt like they were a year ahead, maybe even 2 years ahead at times. And then you look at all the players that have announced that they are coming back. And even before everything that has happened with the transfer portal and how players can move so freely, to get this kind of continuity is a rarity. And that doesn't guarantee success. You could go and play that exact same schedule on the exact same day with the exact same group, and maybe they win 7 games. Maybe they win 5 games. The ball bounced ASU's way quite a bit throughout 2024. And I think that honestly makes up for everything that happened in 2022 and 2023 for all the bad luck that they had. But in terms of what you can control, you are losing some key players, but it's because they're out of eligibility. And it's just a handful of players. Are they important players? Certainly. Cam Scadaboo, Lee Fatanu, Shamari Simmons, Caleb McCullough. I'm sure I'm missing a couple of them, but those are some big time players. But they also have shown that they have plenty of depth. And they've already added some players through the portal to help shoulder that load. So, in terms of what you can hope for if you're an ASU fan, like that's about as short of magically Cam Scadaboo getting another year of eligibility. Like, I don't think your offseason can go much better as it stands right now.
Who replaces Cam Scadaboo?
I think it's going to be a mixture. They went out and got Kanye Udo from Army, a very talented back. And honestly, when I put the tape on and watched him play a little bit, when there was some rumblings that he could be coming to Arizona State, I saw some Cam in him. He has great balance. He's a physical runner. And Kenny said, as the portal was opening, we need to go find a physical running back. We feel really good about some of the other guys that we have, but we need that bruiser. And I think Kanye can certainly do that. He knows how to take on a lot of carries as well. We saw Kyson Brown really show some great strides in the second half of the season. And he's a very, very smart runner. And I think he's evolved in that way. When you see the U of A game, when you see the Big 12 championship, he had some really nuanced runs where he was able to set some things up and get some big gains. And then Raleek Brown is going to be healthy this year. And that was, a big time transfer coming in this year. And he never just quite got right health wise. He tweaked a hamstring in fall camp. He tried to go, and they shut him down to allow him to get that medical red shirt.
Rockin' Protein brings you Jordan Ham, Walking On, inside and out. College football never sleeps, never stops. It's a year-round business now. What concerns you most here in the offseason? Or maybe the better question is, what do they have to get answered here in the offseason? Did we already address it with Scadaboo? Is there another position you look at? Is a player you look at and say, this has got to get figured out here in the next 6 months?
I'm interested to see how the wide receiver room evolves. They brought in 2 transfers already. Jalen Moss, who Kenny said was an NFL guy and out of Fresno State. Noble Johnson, a player out of Clemson. They're losing some guys to graduation. Guillory, Melquan Stovall. So there's going to be some changes there. Certainly, they have some young guys I know that they're very excited about. But then you also look at the trenches. I'm of the mindset you can never have enough depth on both sides of the ball, and they have a very impressive class coming in on the recruiting front, on the high school recruiting front, with offensive line. But Lee Fatanu did a lot in the middle of that offensive line. So who's going to step in as that leader, the one who really controls the tempo there, and kind of where does that jigsaw puzzle go? Where you could slide some guys over, but that creates another opportunity along the offensive line. So what does that look like? And in the defensive line, is there someone that they try to go out and get just to add some depth? The Sun Devils were very, very healthy this past year. And that was not the case 2 years ago, and we saw what that looked like. So I know there are limited scholarships. I know they're really trying to be selective with where they're going, but is there someone out there that you feel can really upgrade the trenches with one of those scholarships, and how do they go about that? Because there, obviously, ASU is not the only school in the nation looking for that position. That's a pretty hot commodity. So can you go find someone that won't break the bank, but you feel like with your evaluations that you trust, it's a smaller school route where they can really flourish in a new role. And I think ASU's coaching staff has done a really good job in the first 2 years finding those players, whether it's prep recruiting or it's in the transfer portal.
Rockin' Protein brings you Jordan Ham every week, year round. We do this walking on.